NCP has been one of the most responsible allies of the UPA government, both UPA 1 and 2, for the last 8 years or so, and has been one of the pillars of strength both inside government and outside in the functioning of the UPA government. There have been some political issues being raised from time to time between the Congress and the NCP, and we have had an ongoing dialogue over the last many years on many issues. We feel very strongly that the UPA now is entering its last 2 years before the next general elections, and it is time that we as a political party, the NCP, must, along with the UPA, gear up for the next round of elections in 2014. We feel that to that effect, the government must also be more decisive, more committed to the issues which are before the people of the country, and certainly with the presence of Mr. Sharad Pawar, a leader of tall stature in this country, the UPA, along with, of course, the able leadership of the Prime Minister, will be able to successfully deal with these issues now and in the future. Mr. Pawar did send a communication to the Prime Minister yesterday raising some of these issues which I have just mentioned. Unfortunately, there has been tremendous speculation about the communication which was sent by Mr. Pawar to the Prime Minister. I am also very pained, and I would say this on record, that there are some sections of people in the Congress party which have been fueling unnecessary speculation and also wrongly briefing the media, including what I have been seeing in the print today and in the television channels today, that some of the demands of Mr. Sharad Pawar have been met, or some issues will be accommodated, or Mr. Pawar will get the number 2 slot, or somebody says Mr. Pawar cannot get the number 2 slot because NCP does not have the numbers. These kind of absolutely, I would say, unreasonable and unnecessary comments are being made by some sections of the Congress party to the media in the name of sources, which is absolutely, I would say, undesirable. And these issues should be addressed in the larger interest of a healthy coalition. This is not the way some sections use the media for creating an unnecessary wedge between two old and very, I would say, reliable coalition partners. The Prime Minister, on receiving Mr. Pawar's communication, did speak to him on the phone yesterday, and I would also like to state that met Mr. Sharad Pawar last night itself. This morning, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the chairperson of the UPA, was also gracious enough to invite Mr. Pawar for a chat with her, and these same issues about the functioning of the government, the coalition, were discussed. We would like to state very emphatically that the communication on these issues which was sent to the Prime Minister yesterday by Mr. Pawar was actually discussed in our party more than a couple of months ago. But since the presidential elections were round the corner, we again, I repeat, as a responsible ally of the UPA, did not wish to raise these issues prior to the presidential election being completed. And that is why, in the larger interest of the UPA coalition, we chose to only send our communication after voting ended at 5 p.m. yesterday. And I repeat that the NCP has been an integral part of the UPA from day one, and the NCP continues to be an integral part of the UPA. The questions which Mr. Pawar has raised have been discussed at length by the Prime Minister and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. And all I can say at this stage is that the NCP's communication was arising out of a discussion within our core meet a couple of months ago. We are meeting again on Monday for further course of action. Let me also state very clearly that this issue of number 2 is being blown out of proportion only for the simple reason that Mr. Pawar, by virtue of his stature, enjoyed a position next to Mr. Pranab Mukherjee when he did not ask for it. And that was not given by virtue of the numbers of the NCP. NCP had numbers less even in UPA 1, the same numbers continued in UPA 2. And Mr. Sharad Pawar in Parliament also sits right next to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, sits next to or was sitting next to Mr. Pranab Mukherjee until he left government to become the nominee of the UPA for the president's post. So the issues which are being raised here or which are being fed wrongly that Mr. Pawar cannot get the number 2 slot because the NCP is a small constituent and does not have the numbers is something I would say very absurd, because by virtue of that same logic, Mr. Pawar should never have been sitting next to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi or should never have been sitting next to Mr. Pranab Mukherjee in the first place. His stature is far more, and I think the Congress or the UPA leadership also realizes that Mr. Pawar brings much more to the table than just being sitting where he is. So this is absolutely rubbish, and Mr. Pawar is not such a petty leader to raise such a petty issue himself. In fact, I would say that those people who are raising these kind of issues in the media or within the government or who are trying to make it an issue are being petty themselves. I don't think we in the NCP or Mr. Sharad Pawar would be petty at all to make this an issue of whether we continue in government or not. This is completely, I would say, blown out of proportion in the wrong way. Our issues are completely different. Our issues are more about the functioning of the government, the functioning of the UPA, and the larger coalition concept.
Let him finish. There are 3 points. What are the issues?
मैंने पहले ही कहा कि जो भी मुद्दे शरद पवार जी ने कल अपने पत्र में प्रधानमंत्री जी को लिखकर भेजा था, उन मुद्दों पर प्रधानमंत्री जी ने और श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी ने उनसे चर्चा, कल रात को प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, आज सुबह सोनिया जी ने उनसे चर्चा की है। और ये मुद्दे सरकार और यूपीए के आगे के भावी रिश्तों के बारे में और किस तरह से हमने सरकार, इस देश के नागरिकों को एक अच्छी सरकार हमने प्रदान करना चाहिए, उसके दिशा में ये सारी बातें, और दोनों पक्षों के बीच में हमारे रिश्ते कैसे होने चाहिए, इन सारे मुद्दों के ऊपर आपको ये भी स्मरण होना चाहिए कि हम केवल महाराष्ट्र, दिल्ली में ही सरकार में नहीं है उनके साथ, कांग्रेस के साथ, हम महाराष्ट्र में भी उनके साथ सरकार में हैं। और ये सारी बातों का कहीं न कहीं कांग्रेस और एनसीपी के रिश्तों में कई जो पहलू होते हैं उसके बारे में भी हमारे कुछ मुद्दे हैं जिनको हमने वहां सामने रखने की कोशिश की है। लेकिन इसमें जरूर, जैसे कल डीपी त्रिपाठी जी ने भी कहा कि हम कल कैबिनेट में नहीं गए, ये बिल्कुल बात, ये वास्तव है कि हम कल की कैबिनेट में नहीं गए। कुछ हमारे उसमें मुद्दे जरूर हैं जो हम चाहते हैं कि जिसके बारे में कुछ आगे के लिए एक अच्छी उचित दिशा मिले। उसमें कल जो स्पेकुलेशन हुआ है वो मैं समझता हूं कि केवल किसी के रॉन्ग ब्रीफिंग के माध्यम से।
Number 2 is not reached. It is pretty petty. What are the issues? What is the problem with the functioning of the government? And did you remain a minister? Do you resign? Or what is the position?
Listen, till such time we have not formally resigned or given, or our resignation is not accepted, there is no question. The issue is not about resignation at all. There is only a communication, as I said yesterday, made to the Prime Minister. The issues which Mr. Pawar has raised in his letter and which have been subsequently discussed with the Prime Minister and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, we would like to discuss within our party first before we tell you what we I am not going to be able to divulge any details at this stage, and I am only.
What Prime Minister Sonia Gandhi?
I think I have made my.
No, you're not. Number 2, then what are the issues? You have to specify.
Can I ask a question? Have you offered to resign?
And you're saying this is not today, this is a long issue.
I have stated what I think I needed to state today. I think beyond this, we do not have anything more to add, and we cannot.
पवार साहब नहीं गए हैं, लेकिन
सोमवार को हमारी पार्टी की बैठक के पश्चात हम आपसे पुनः चर्चा तब तक आप आगे अगला शनिवार है, आप अपने परिवार के साथ